my dear students. How are you? I hope all are you good. Welcome back to another class. Today, let me start ST chapter number 3, Natural Resources. जो प्रकृति द्वारा हमें साधन, इस पार्ट में जो प्रकृति के द्वारा हमें स्रोत या साधन दिए हुए हैं उनके बारे में बात होंगी, जैसे लैंड जो जमी भूमि है, मिट्टी है और पानी। तो ये सब हमें नेचुरल मतलब प्रकृति से मिले हैं। Land, water and soil. So let me start. The distribution of resources in the world is highly uneven. Some resources, example land, soil, water, vegetation, animals, etc., are available everywhere. So while minerals and energy resources are concentrated in just some regions only. तो यहाँ पे कौन से रिसोर्सेस की बात हुई है? एग्जाम्पल जैसे लैंड हर जगह होती है, लैंड, सॉइल, वाटर, ये 3 रिसोर्स ऐसे हैं सभी जगह, कहीं भी ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड आप कहीं भी चले जाओ आपको सब जगह ये रिसोर्स मिलेंगे। लेकिन कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं जैसे कुछ खनिज होते हैं, है ना? कुछ मिनरल्स होते हैं, कुछ एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज होते हैं जैसे कोयला, पेट्रोल, है ना? गैस, सीएनजी, कंपोस्ट नेचुरल गैस, ये चीज़ें इनकी एक पर्टिकुलर जगह होती है, ये कुछ ही रीजन्स में हमें मिलते हैं। द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज डिपेंड्स ऑन द नीड्स एंड वांट्स ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ रीजन। तो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज जो है वो नीड्स के ऊपर डिपेंड करते हैं, ओके, जहाँ जिस रीजन में उसके अकॉर्डिंग वहाँ पे नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज होते हैं। Besides the cultural values and the level of technological development of the people also affect the intensity of utilization of resources. Natural resources do not require value or meaning until they are utilized by men. Nature, men, and technology are the resource creating factors. For example, land is a natural resource which is highly useful and fundamental for agriculture. But unless men tills the land sows, the seed fertilize the land with manures and fertilizers, irrigates it, so sprays insecticides and pesticides and reaps the harvest, the land may not turn into useful resources. ठीक है, अब होता क्या है कि कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं जो रिन्यूएबल होती हैं जिनको हम रीयूज कर सकते हैं, बट धीरे धीरे क्या हो रहा है जैसे जैसे हम खेती करते हैं, अब खेती में क्या होता है जब वो कहीं पे कुछ भी वेजिटेशन मतलब कहीं हम सब्जियां फल अनाज उगाते हैं तो सभी की बातें हैं, मतलब जब हम इन चीजों को उगाते हैं तो जो कीड़े होते हैं, कई जगह होते हैं कीड़े कीट पतंगे तो फसल को नुकसान करते हैं, वो खा जाते हैं। ठीक है, तो अब फार्मर यानी व्यक्ति क्या करता है, किसान क्या करता है फसल को बचाने के लिए, क्योंकि क्या होता है वो डिपेंड उस पे है, उस फसल के ऊपर ही वो निर्भर है। अगर वो उसे नहीं बचाएगा तो वो अपने घर के लिए क्या कमाएगा और क्या खाएगा और क्या ही हमें मतलब देगा किसी को। ठीक है, क्या क्या मंडी में जाके बेचेगा, तो वो क्या करता है उन कीड़ों से फसल को बचाने के लिए उसमें पेस्टिसाइड यूज करता है, यूरिया खाद वगैरह होते हैं, मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, दवाइयाँ छिड़कता है। तो उन दवाइयों को छिड़कने से और पेस्टिसाइड करने से क्या होता है, जो भूमि होती है ना, जो जमीन होती है वो अभी तो चल रहा है, धीरे धीरे क्या होगा वो उपजाऊ कम होनी हो जाएगी, मतलब फिर आप उसमें फसल नहीं उगा सकते। अभी तो चल रहा है, अभी 100-200 जितने भी साल तक है जब भी है, लेकिन धीरे धीरे क्या होगा ना, वो जो मिट्टी है उस मिट्टी में जब कीटनाशक मिलते हैं तो वो फसल बोने लायक नहीं रह पाती है, तो उसी के बारे में यहाँ पे बात हो रही। सो फर्स्ट वन इज लैंड रिसोर्सेस। लैंड इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस। जो लैंड है, जो जमीन है, जो भूमि है, वो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण प्राकृतिक स्रोत है। So humans obtain most of the products from it to satisfy their needs. So it provides more than 90% of their food requirement, greater part of clothing and housing, and all the needs and wants of wood for fuel, construction, and for transportation, although land is available universally. So yet it is not equally useful everywhere. So beside its utilization also varies greatly, है ना? तो क्या है ना, जो हमारी 90% जो आबादी है वो किस पे डिपेंड है, लैंड पे डिपेंड है। खेती किसान जो 95% है, और 95% नहीं, हम लोग भी जो शहरी लोग हैं, जो सब्जियां फल आते हैं ये किसानों के से तो आते हैं, तो सभी डिपेंड है उस पे। The availability of land for human use is very limited. Land covers less than 30% of the total area of the Earth's surface. Even all parts of this small percentage are not habitats. habitable. So about 90% of the world population occupies roughly 30% of its land area. So the remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely inhabited with 10% of population for or uninhabited. Topography of the land and climate are the most potent factors in determining the distribution of population. So, rugged relief and steep slopes of the mountains, low-lying waterlogged areas, and extreme climatic conditions impose restrictions on land for human use. Land us. Land use. कैसे यूज होती है? Land is used for different purposes such as cultivation of crops, grazing of animals, building houses and roads, mining, manufacturing, etc. So this is known as land use. So the proportion of land put to such uses varies from one region to other. So this is called land use pattern. It also varies within a region over time. The ever growing population has been responsible for changes in land use pattern. So it has led to conversion of forested areas into croplands and croplands into non-agricultural uses such as buildings, roads, etc. ठीक है, तो लैंड जो है, लैंड मतलब ये मत सोचो कि एक तरह से केवल उसी के लिए यूज हो रही है, खेती के लिए। उसमें घर भी बन रहे हैं, बिल्डिंग्स बन रही हैं, फ्लैट्स बन रहे हैं, फैक्ट्रीज बन रही हैं, उसी लैंड पे सड़कें भी बन रही हैं, है ना, ब्रिजेस बन रहे हैं। तो लैंड जो है सबसे महत्वपूर्ण इसलिए है क्योंकि जो भी कुछ हो रहा है लैंड यानी जमीन पे तो हो रहा है, धरती पे तो बन रही है सारी चीजें। तो द लैंड यूज पैटर्न ऑफ अ कंट्री depends on a number of factors, so such as topography, soil, climate, availability of water and mineral resources, etc. Fertile and well-watered plants are used as croplands. Okay, so occurrence of mineral resources favors mining. Besides economic and human factors are also important. So, for example, areas having low grade ores may not develop mining owing to high cost of production. Similarly, densely populated areas encroach upon forest and croplands to make from room for buildings, houses, roads, rails, etc. So, following table shows the land use pattern in select countries of the world. Land use in selected countries. Australia 6 cropland, 56 pasture, forest and 24. ब्राजील में 9 croplands हैं, pasture है 66 forest है. कनाडा में 5 croplands for pasture and 39 forest. China 10, 34 and 14 और other uses 42. फ्रांस में 35, 21, 27 and 70. इंडिया में 57 croplands हैं. 57% जो है cropland, जो percentage of area under pasture है 4 and forest 22, other use 70. जापान में 12, 2, 67 and 90 and रशिया में 8, 5, 44 and 44. तो सबसे ज्यादा है 57, 67 and 52. In UK 29, 46, 10 and 16. USA 21, 26, 32 and 21. World 11, 26, 31 and 32. So this table reveals that the India possesses the highest percentage of area under croplands. इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा जो खेती के लिए जमीन यूज होती है. France and United Kingdom have more than 1/4 of their respective area under cultivation, while Canada, Australia, Russia, Brazil, and China register under 10% area under croplands. So, environmentally speaking, our country must possess 33% of its area under forests. Unfortunately, however, most countries, including India, do not fulfill this norm. According to the given table, only Japan, Brazil, Russia, and Canada are favorably placed, while the United States of America stands close to the required percentage. So, animals, especially domesticated, are very useful for humans. India possesses the largest number of livestock population, yet it has a very small percentage of area under pastures. Canada, Japan, and Russia also have very small percentage of area under pastures, while Australia, United Kingdom, China, USA, and France are fortunate in this respect. The table also illustrates the livestock raising and related economic activities are well developed in Australia. United Kingdom, China, France, and Brazil. Foresight and Lamay are well developed in Japan, Brazil, Russia, Canada, and the USA. As land is a fixed asset, there lends to be stiff competition among various land uses in a given country. So, keeping in view the nature of land and the needs of the community, land uses has to be planned properly to give the best results. Careless use of land may lead to problems like shortage of croplands, soil erosion, deforestation, and desertification. Soil resources. The uppermost thin layer of the crust, which supports all flora or vegetation, is known as soil. So, all living beings, including humans, directly or indirectly depend on soil for their survival. चाहे वो directly हो indirectly हो किस पे survive हो soil. So humans fulfill their basic needs from soil only. So therefore soil is the most important natural resource for men, and it is a renewable resource, but soil formation is very slow process and takes hundreds of years to form a 1 centimeter of soil layer. So therefore it must be protected from erosion and degradation. हो ना हो जैसे भी है, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली कैसे भी हो, जो ह्यूमन लाइफ है वो सॉइल पर ही डिपेंड करती है, मिट्टी पर। और इसलिए कहते हैं कि हमें इसका ध्यान रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक बार जब इसकी जो वो होती है ना, जो इसके खनिज लवण होते हैं, जो इसके अंदर इसकी क्वालिटी होती है, कम से कम 100 साल लग जाते हैं उसको दोबारा से आने में, उसी परत को फिर से सेट होने में। सो जितना हो सके पेस्टिसाइड्स कम यूज करना चाहिए। Soil formation is a continuous process called pedogenesis. Parent rock topography, climate, soil, organism, and time are the basic factors in soil formation. Parent rocks have definite characteristics, temperature, and rainfall are the main climatic factors affecting soil formation. Topography affects the drainage of an area, so whether rocks do not get accumulated on sleep slopes, they move down the slope by water and under force of gravity. In plains and areas with gentle slopes, soils tend to accumulate without any difficulty. So, dead plants and organisms provide humus to the soil, which make them fertile. So, earthworms and ants create space for air and water in the soil. Time factor is also an important factor in soil formation. So, the longer the time for soil formation, more deeper is its layer. So, besides weathering of rock, moving water, rivers, and wind also contribute to soil formation. So, these factors of erosion deposit materials on the earth's surface. So, alluvial soils formed by rivers are highly fertile and deep. Problems of soil. Depletion and erosion are the two major problems of soil. So, continuous cultivation of crops robs soils of its fertility. If the same crop is grown every year, the soil will surely become deficient in some nutrients. So, it is important to know that all crops do not need the same nutrients from the soil in equal amount. Certain crops return nitrogen to the soil, thereby helping in maintaining soil fertility. The fertility of the soil can also be restored by addition of manures and fertilizers, but the chemicals used in fertilizers can render soil unfit for cultivation in the long run. So, erosion causes greatest loss to soil. Loses soil devoid of vegetation is liable to higher rate for erosion. It is carried down the slope by running water and wind. So, physical and human factors also contribute to soil erosion. Physical factors include slope, intensity of rainfall, and velocity of wind. So, human factors include deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers, over irrigation, and faculty agricultural practices. Over irrigation leads to salinization in India. 36% of the total irrigated area has been damaged by salinization. इस पूरे पैराग्राफ में बस यही डिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है कि कैसे हमें भूमि को, मिट्टी को बचाना चाहिए, उसका फर्टिलाइज वरना वो फर्टिलाइज करना बंद कर देगी, उसका उसमें जो है जो दवाइयाँ हम छिड़कते हैं, तो मतलब ज़मीन का, मिट्टी का जितना हम अच्छे से ध्यान रखेंगे ना, उतना ही वो हमें उतना ही बहुत कुछ देगी। तो क्या होता है ना, वो उपजाऊ होनी बंद हो जाती है, फिर वो यूजलेस हो जाती है. सो कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लैंड एंड सॉइल. The burgeoning population the world over is creating additional demands for natural resources. It has led to a large scale destruction of natural resources, land and soil in particular. So, there is a pressing need to minimize the present rate of destruction of resources, minimizing our resource needs, finding ways and means of better and efficient utilization of resources. So, finding useful alternative and conserving available resources through rational use and better planning are some ways to conserve our resources. So, for conservation of soil, the following measures may be adopted. टेरेस फार्मिंग, उत्तराकाशी, इंडिया, है ना? जो है कि सीढ़ी-नुमा खेत होते हैं वहाँ पे, और प्लेन एरिया में ऐसे खेत होते हैं. टेरेस फार्मिंग ऑन द हिल स्लोप्स, पहाड़ों पे, क्योंकि ताकि पानी ना रुके इनमें, पानी ऐसे सीढ़ियों से बह जाए. कंट्रोल प्लोइंग, थर्ड कंट्रोलिंग शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन, कंट्रोलिंग डिफोरेस्टेशन, एफोरेस्टेशन, प्लगिंग ऑफ गलीज, स्ट्राइप क्रॉपिंग, बंडिंग ऑफ फील्ड्स, creating shelter belts of trees in dry regions and rich terrain. Water resources. Water is indispensable for the survival of living beings. It is a major body constituent of several plants and animals. Human body contains 70% water in it. Water serves many other purposes. It is used for domestic agricultural irrigation and industrial purposes, besides being used for hydroelectricity generation and for transport. अब वाटर रिसोर्सेज मतलब ये 70, तो हमारी पृथ्वी पे जो है 70% पानी है ना, जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी आपको बताया है चैप्टर्स में. तो 70% पानी है, बट जो यूजेबल, जो मतलब जो यूज करने के लिए है ना, वो केवल 30% है. बाकी जो अदर है ना, वो ओशियंस में, सी में, समुद्र का खारा पानी है, नमक का, जो हम यूज नहीं कर सकते. तो वाटर जो है हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है, और उसको हमें मतलब बचा के चलना चाहिए, खेती के लिए, डोमेस्टिक मतलब घर के कामों के लिए, इरिगेशन के लिए. और उससे क्या हो रही है, पानी से बिजली भी बनाई जाती है. जहाँ पे डैम बनाए हुए हैं बड़े बड़े, तो वहाँ पे जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी बनाई जाती है. डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वाटर. Nearly 71% area of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So, yet all water on Earth is not available for use. Nearly 97% of the Earth's total water is in oceans and seas. So, which is saline and hence suitable for human consumption. So, another 2% water is contained in polar ice caps and glaciers. 2% तो वो जो ग्लेशियर्स होते हैं उनमें ही absorb हो गया, which are inaccessible. Only 1% is fresh water occurring on groundwater in rivers and lakes as surface water and the atmosphere as water vapor. So, this fresh water is easily available and suitable for human use. So, only 1%. Water cycle. A tiny fraction 0.001 of the total water on the earth is present in the atmosphere as water vapor. So, this water plays a crucial role in hydrological cycle. So, it constantly moves between different spheres of the earth, i.e. lithosphere, okay, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. It also takes on different forms, i.e. solid, liquid and gas. So, through precipitation, it provides fresh water on the earth. So, fresh water is therefore one of the most precious substances on the earth. Fresh water, जो पीने का पानी हम यूज करते हैं. Fresh water is unevenly distributed on the earth mainly because of unequal precipitation. Rainfall evaporation also contributes to the unequal distribution of fresh water. In regions where precipitation exceeds evaporation, there is surplus fresh water. The areas of surplus rainfall lie between 20° north and 20° south, and north and south of 40° latitudes, between 20° and 40° latitudes in the subtropical zone. So, evaporation exceeds precipitation. The famous deserts of Sahara, Arabia, Thar, and Gobi in the northern hemisphere, and Atacama, Namib, Kalahari, and Western Australia in the southern hemisphere lie in the subtropical zone. Surface water is the most common source of obtaining water. So, surface runoff is the principal source of surface water which reaches small streams which then join big rivers. So the area which is drained by a big river and its tributaries is called a river basin. Water from a river is taken out by making a canal from it. Pipes are used for domestic and industrial purposes. The canal water is mainly used for irrigation purposes. Most of the river water is used for irrigation, domestic and industrial purposes. If the rate of drawing water from a river exceeds the rate of water supply, the water level decreases and ultimately the river dries up. So, on the other hand, during the rainy season, the river becomes flooded. To solve this problem, many major rivers of the world have dams built on them. Large dams. During the past 5,000 years, several rivers have been dammed the world over. The first dam were mainly small constructions designed to control floods and supply water for irrigation and domestic use. Okay, so later they came to be used for generating hydroelectricity. तो डैम से क्या यूज हुआ कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बननी शुरू हुई. Since 1930s and particularly between 1915 and 1970, many large dams have been constructed by 2000. More than 48,000 large dams have been constructed. Nearly two-thirds of the world's dams lie in Asia and about half of the world's total in China alone. The Bhakra Dam of the Satluj, India, Bhakra Bandh, is the highest gravity dam, while the Irakund Dam on the Mahanadi River, Odisha, is the longest dam in the world. ठीक है, भाखड़ा डैम जो है सबसे ऊंची ग्रेविटी वाला है, बहुत जोर से पानी पड़ता है इसमें नीचे को, और उड़ीसा में सबसे लंबा बांध है. Large dams through though highly useful for providing irrigation facilities and generating hydroelectricity, have adverse environmental impact in the vicinity of the reservoir. Hence, they have become controversial. The reservoir created behind the dam impounds vast areas and forests and settlements. The Balbina Dam, constructed on the Amazon River in Brazil in 1987. So, submerged 2,360 kilometers of natural rainforest of the Amazon basin. It also displaced about one-third population of the Waimarie Atruri tribe. So similarly, three gorges dam in China on the Yangtze River, the Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada River, and the Tehri Dam on the Bhagirathi River in India have been criticized by the environmentalists. तो जितने भी ये डैम बने हुए हैं यहाँ पे, इनको मतलब यूज तो है ये पानी रोकने का, इनमें ग्रेविटी भी होती है, लेकिन इनको सबसे ज्यादा यूज किया जाता है हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यानी कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बनाने की. Conservation of water and improving its quality. Pollution of water is a serious problem the world over. Water pollution जो है सबसे serious समस्या है, problem है. When impurities exceeds the permissible limit in a water body, it is said to be polluted. This polluted water is fully unfit for human use. So drinking water must be pure. So the major contaminants of water are bacteria and parasites, chlorinated hydrocarbons, volatile hydrocarbons, lead, salts, calcium carbonate, and iron. Bacteria and parasites cause many diseases such as amoebic, dysentery, diarrhea, etc. So complete disinfection of drinking water is possible only through chlorination. Boiling water is the most common method to destroy all bacteria and parasites. So pesticides are derived from chlorinated hydrocarbon. They are used in virtually all countries, although they are very hazardous to people. So they are not biodegradable and hence they reach human bodies through water. So water can be freed of this contamination only by the expensive प्रोसेस. केवल उसको क्लोरीन डाल के या उसको बॉईल करके ही हम उसके जो है कीटाणु खत्म कर सकते हैं. पानी के ज़्यादा पीने का पानी बहुत साफ. अब तो घर घर में जो है, हर घर में जो आरओ की सुविधा उपलब्ध हो गई है. ऑफ डिस्टिलेशन, द यूज ऑफ pesticides need to be completely banned in developing countries has been done in industrialized nations. Soil and water are contaminated with hydrocarbons by oil spills, leaking petrol and diesel tanks, and taining floods that are flushed down the drain. So this water, once conta- uh, contaminated, cannot be easily purified and hence has to be marked under undrinkable. So lead is very dangerous to the nervous system. The water purifiers remove the contamination. They absorb lead particles and need to be replaced regularly. Salt dissolve calcium carbonate and iron are not health problems but lead to other problems like affecting the machineries. These are, however, more localized problems. Besides drinking water, there are four other uses of water: industrial hydroelectricity generation, irrigation, and for use by animals and poultry. Iron contamination and hard water are more serious problems for industrial activities and electricity generation. Salt is more serious problem for irrigation, water. Water for animals and poultry like humans need water free of microbes and lead contamination. Surface runoff can be slowed down by forest and other vegetation cover to improve. Underground storage water harvesting is one of the methods of saving surface runoff. Water may also be impounded by making check dams. Water is used the most of irrigating crops. Over irrigation needs to be avoided. Seepage losses from canals can be minimized by lining them. Sprinkles are an effective and efficient irrigation technique in dry regions where evaporation rate is very high. Drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. Water is supplied to plant roots through underground pipes. In industries, recycled water may be used for cooling purpose. So, effluents should be treated before disposing them. In domestic use, wastage of water should be checked. Wastewater of kitchen may be used for gardens. Every individual needs to economics water usage in many regions of India. Water is brought for daily use from long distances. It is going to be a problem in other parts as well. Sooner or later, if we do not learn to economics and make best use of water available to us. सो जितना कम हो सके उतना जो है पानी कम वेस्ट करे, ठीक है ना? क्योंकि पीने का पानी बहुत कम होता है और उसको जैसे-तैसे साफ करके जो भी है उसको क्लीन करके ही हमें बच्चों को पिलाना चाहिए क्योंकि उससे हमें डायरिया वगैरह जैसी प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है। सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, द चैप्टर इज़ इन हियर। आई होप यू ऑल आर वेरी वेल अंडरस्टैंड फुल चैप्टर। सो वी विल मीट यू द नेक्स्ट क्लास। थैंक यू एवरीवन।